Whew, this stuff is boom, 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 boom. In the words of the great West Side Gun, I'm here live. Of course, this is the hottest show in professional wrestling. Your opinion doesn't matter. And of course, my name is Scotty Mack, and I'm joined this week by my only panelist. Everybody forgot about old Mackie Mac, but that's all right. But he's too cool. He always delivers, and he's currently half of the PWR Tag Team Champions, the Postman T Money. What's going on, T? How's the break been? It's been a while. It's been a little while here.
It felt like it's been a while, but the grind don't stop. So I don't know. I can't call it as they say in the streets. I can't call it. What's good?
What have you been doing with your free time, T? You know, the schedule has changed a little bit. You have more free time, more money, more time to get in trouble. Are you delivering packages where we're not wrestling, or are you delivering packages where we're not wrestling?
As long as I ain't got 18 years of child support, don't worry about the packages that I deliver. You good.
All right. I agree with you on that. Let's face it, I have my own history with the Illinois court system. Listen, the fans are ready. This is the Go Home Show. We are just moments and days and minutes away from the biggest pay-per-view probably in PWR history. You see it behind you, Rise to Power 5. Real quick, T, you've been a part of all 5 of them. Going into this 5th big dance, this Super Bowl-like atmosphere where all the big stars come out to play and the best wrestlers in professional wrestling today will compete in that ring, Rise to Power, as we make our way to, of course, Chicago, Illinois. What's going through your mind, T? Of course, defending a championship.
Man, you know what? Honestly, a little bit beyond that, this is special to me knowing that I don't know how much time I got left, man. I don't know if I'm making the Rise to Power 6. So defending
Aren't you younger than me? What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, man. Hey. I done did things. I done seen things. I've been places that ages your
Congratulations on the Hall of Fame as well. We will be having the Hall of Fame ceremony 1 week after Rise to Power when things settle down a little bit. We will be doing a nice celebration for all those joining in the class of 2024, along with you, JTO, one of my other panelists, Ethan Carnage as well, Mel Walker, a great star-studded class indeed. Congratulations again on that. But this week, we were doing it up Crooklyn style, as they said, in Brooklyn, New York. Some would say it's your home away from home. You spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, of course, with your brother Mel Walker.
Of course.
What were the festivities like this week for the Postman?
Like the on-screen
Obviously, you
activity.
had to pay for a hotel. Yeah, you stay with. From what I hear, you and you know, Mel has a beautiful luxury condo downtown New York, and you stay with him, from what my sources tell me.
Hey, it ain't stunning if you got it. It ain't stunning if you got it. No, I did not stay with him, but I mean, if accommodations were made by some pretty enticing young ladies, then I mean, that's possibly true. That's possible.
Okay, my sources also are telling me that you could possibly be filling the void for P. Diddy with the late night activities and the parties that you like to, you like baby oil, you like lather. The sources tell us. Any word on that, T Buddy? Is that true, or are my sources feeding me garbage?
How much of a fan of walking are you?
I like my 2 feet. Why?
If you enjoy walking, you change the fucking subject now.
All right. Good call. With that being said, a very important legal announcement to announce for all PWR fans in the universe. Deadly Alliance, all right? It used to be Dangerous Alliance. They were taken to court and sued for the rights. I'm not going to say by who, but somebody we all know owns the rights to the Deadly
I say it right now. No, go ahead. I ain't trying to miss.
Anyway, the owner of the name Dangerous Alliance beckon Toa and El Wapo to please stop using that name. So therefore, they will now be going by Deadly Alliance via the Twitter of El Wapo and Toa. Any thoughts on this,
Wait, they going from what
Deadliest
to what?
from dangerous to deadly. Not it's just one little switch, swap a rooster. What you think?
I think a cease and desist is a motherfucker, man. You know what? This is PWR. We get it out the mud. Use the shit that you started with in the first place. Yeah, go ahead, use it. Say it. Say it out loud. Use it.
It's funny coming from a guy who's not going to write the check when we get sued, T. Let's
exactly the
stay out
reason
of
why I'm
legal.
saying.
All right. And I'm also saying that I just mentioned a little while ago that the destination for Rise to Power 5 has been designated. Of course, it's our base, the place where it all started, Chicago, Illinois, the United Center. It's almost sold out. Your tickets, there's still a few available in the nosebleeds, but all the tickets have mainly been eaten up already for this big time match. Of course, you will be featured as well on that card. And let's face it, you've been a part of 4 of these before. There's nothing like it in professional wrestling. The feel in the air that whole week, the press, the vibe, the parties. It's an amazing experience.
I can only imagine it being like a boxer preparing for the whole week, having to do the press, having to do like all the stuff that's in your face is real life superstardom. And it lasts for one night and it feels like it lasts for 5 minutes. So yeah, I can't wait to be a part of this one. I can't wait.
Definitely exciting. Something else that's exciting, T-Buddy. Later on tonight, we have the contract signing that took place between the #1 contender, the Equalizer JTO, and the reigning defending PWR World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, excuse me. I guess we're in Philly. I thought Chicago was where we all started it, but apparently my marketing director. Yeah, the Liberty Bell. That's where we're going. I mean, it is a swing state, so maybe it's important we're there at this time. We'll see.
It's going to be
very close.
It's a lot of disappointing.
It's going to be very close to the election, so maybe we'll sway some people one way or another. But again, this contract signing later, a big one. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're going to get to the action, T. It is the Go Home Show. There's a lot to cover that took place in Brooklyn, New York, Barclays Center, and we start off the night with Reggie Walker, the Reckless One, the hometown hero or demon, whatever you want to call him, facing Bubba Killings one-on-one. Of course, Bubba would be accompanied by his tag team partner, Alan Cutter, in this one. Reggie was on fire all week long on social media as him and his brother had the keys to the city, he said. They both would be undeniable this week in their hometown, said Reggie Walker. Alan Cutter didn't say much to the contrary this week, but he did, however, accompany Bubba Killings to the ring as we were about to head into this big-time fight. A big-time fight where both wrestlers were looking for some momentum going into Rise to Power, and we were off. Bubba Killings started off the match doing exactly what he promised he would do, laying the hurt on Reggie Walker earlier, highlighted by a flying forearm that looked to shake up the Reckless One early. And then Bubba distracted the official so Alan Cutter could get a few cheap shots in as well, working well together. It seemed like this was obviously scripted. Bubba kept the momentum and the pressure going until he missed a right hook that he tried to connect on Reggie Walker with, who countered with the super kick, followed this up with a splash from off of the ropes. Reggie was on fire here earlier. Reggie to get to the top rope now for his big finisher, but Alan Cutter threatened to knock Reggie Walker down, causing him to jump back down into the ring. Now, at this point, Bubba Killing used its distraction to nail a dropkick to Walker. Then he signaled for the Minnesota Spear, and the fans were excited. Killing flew towards Reggie Walker, but Reggie had this move scattered out. He sniffed him out on this one like a line of cocaine at a Brooklyn nightclub.
God damn.
Golly. Now, T, I know you don't partake in the booger sugar, but can you feel the sense of actually knowing, as far as Reggie Walker, he knew exactly where Bubba was going to be, and he sniffed it out like a line of cocaine in a Brooklyn nightclub?
I mean, the Boy Scouts and Scar from the Lion King had two things absolutely correct. And they were both the same. They both said be prepared. So I mean, you know you're going down there. You know it's gonna be interference. So at least he did his homework. I'm proud to see that. Now,
Reggie used Bubba's momentum at this point to throw him to the outside of the ring as this one was about to get even more interested. He then started clapping his hands. It's one of the few places in the PWR universe that Reggie can actually get the fans behind him as they did, clapping with the Reckless One, who leaped to the outside of the ring, nailing Bubba Killings and Alan Cutter collectively together. Both of them. Is there another word for it, T?
No, I'm just thinking about the clapping. It sounded like a P. Diddy party.
He hopped outside and got Bubba back inside the ring as Alan Cutter was knocked down at this point. Reggie Walker quickly then ascended to the top turnbuckle. He fixed his dreads, and before signaling to the hometown faithful, he leaped off with the reckless elbow skying in the air and nailing down hard on top of Bubba Killings, pinning him for the 1, the 2, the 3, the winner of the match. The Reckless One, Reggie Walker. I knew you were excited about this one. Inside of the ring, however, Alan Cutter attacked Reggie Walker from behind, and he and Bubba started going to work. I don't mean going to work on the farm or going to work on the horses. Well, I mean they were going to work on Reggie Walker. A roar from the fans, however, T, alerted the arrival of Reggie Walker, older brother and the former powerhouse champion, aka your bestie. He stormed down to the ring, chasing off the pair of Southern shit talkers, as Mel Walker wasn't having any of that in his hometown. The fans then had a moment with both Reggie Walker and Mel Walker as both hometown heroes, aka demons, got a standing ovation from the sold out arena. Now, meanwhile, backstage, a heated interview took an interesting turn as Crimson Wolf, the novelist of violence, was going on a tirade. He was absolutely losing his mind as a reporter from a journalist, I should say, from Wrestling Observer. You're familiar with them, T, I'm sure, who had come down, assigned to cover all the pandemonium for the Go Home show going into Rise to Power. She simply asked Crimson about the sudden departure of Jack Harvey, and this triggered something in Crimson Wolf. He exploded as he said, "You get paid to ask me? You get paid to ask questions like that? They pay you money?" said Crimson Wolf. "The disrespect! I have done everything in this business, and yes, that little shit ran out of here to where there's no competition and he can have an easier life. And he can be a little fairy on the wall over there, but the fact of the matter is, Jack was scared of what was going to happen to him," said Crimson Wolf. "And now, because he isn't here for me to punish, I need to find a worthy opponent who will ultimately take these hands and become a bigger and better superstar for losing to me at Rise to Power 5. Wow, Crimson Wolf with some strong words for this young lady who was just doing her job. The reporter, she wanted to be clear now at this point. She wanted to be clear as the reporter replied, "Anyone, you say? Anyone, Crimson?" And Crimson gave her a look and she said, "Are you sure about that?" Crimson said Valdez, who was covering PWR again for Wrestling Observer. "Are you as incompetent as you look?" replied Crimson Wolf. "I mean, don't you have anything in that little tiny head of yours?" said Crimson Wolf. "I said anyone can get these hands, bitch," said Crimson Wolf. Wow, he is disrespectful.
Damn. That's a hell of a
Valdez was in shock at this point, and she even said, "Wow, okay," said Rebecca Valdez. But she grunted with her throat, trying to get the attention of Crimson Wolf, it seemed. And that's when cameras started from the ground up and panned all the way up to an individual who was standing behind Crimson Wolf with his arms crossed. And it was none other than the Kaiju, as the fans popped and Valdez held the microphone up to the face of Quan Su. "Quan, I hope I'm not intruding. As far as we know, you don't have an opponent yet to rise to power. Any thoughts on this open challenge from Crimson Wolf?" she asked the Kaiju. Quan didn't say a word. He just turned his head facing towards Crimson Wolf, and he just turned his head to the side with no words at all as he looked at Wolf. The fans started laughing it off as Wolf said, "You stupid bitch," and stormed off. Oh my!
I don't even know why she got the question. Don't know why. But hey,
woo!
God,
Classic material. First of all, Money. Let's talk about the match first. Let's not lose sight of this matchup here. Reggie Walker going into Rise to Power with a lot of momentum. Not the outcome Bubba and Cutter necessarily wanted, but they still got their comings up at the end of the match. But ultimately, Mel Walker, the older brother, looking after his brother at the end of the day in their hometown, standing ovation for both. But then we go backstage and we see Crimson running off at the mouth, as he tends to do sometimes. Understandably, he's upset that Jack left after a brutal attack and he can't get his hands on Jack.
Yeah.
But then he tells the reporter, anybody, anytime, anywhere. And there we have the Korean Kaiju standing close by.
He threw a bitch.
Thoughts? Yeah. He threw a couple bitches at her.
Yeah.
No.
As far as the match, I mean, Reggie went out there and did what he was supposed to. He's a ball of fire. He went out there, handled business, had the moves scouted out just the right way, just in the right nick of time. That was cool. Now, those Southern shit talkers, I think that's a new nickname for them. Southern shit talkers.
Yeah. Southern shit talkers,
yeah. We're going to go with that. Yeah. Now, they did what they were supposed to do, too. They tried to establish a name for themselves around here. They put foot to ass and all that other type of stuff. But it was only appropriate for Brooklyn to see the hometown heroes, or demons, as you all would say, right in front of everybody and get their flowers. And then Crimson comes out of nowhere with this shit. Oh, my God, Crimson. Dang, Crimson.
He got her bitch, right?
What, Crimson? What? Oh, yeah. Yo, I remember humble Crimson. I remember not knowing where my W's coming from, Crimson. I don't remember this.
I got a message coming in right now, T. Negotiations are currently being worked through as long as Crimson says he needs more money than Quad. As long as he gets more money, he will sign the contract. I'm sure we could make that happen. If this match happens, Crimson Wolf versus the Korean Kaiju, Rise to Power, what do you think? Wow.
I gotta go with Kwanzaa on that. I hate to say it, and there's not a slight to Crimson at all because I mean, shoot, I haven't beaten him yet, but I gotta go with Quan for one reason and one reason only. Crimson seems to be flying off the handle on stuff. He seems to be flying off the handle a little bit. Seems like he ain't stable. We done went from humble to calling people bitches and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the one that's even keeled all the way through. And as you saw in that interview,
I'm gonna have to
even keeled.
Because we have a panel, and this is what we're supposed to do, disagree with her. I'm gonna have to go with the veteran in this one, Crimson Wolf. He's been in every situation in the PWR ring you can think of. He's seen it all, done it all. If anybody could give that first true defeat to Quan Su, it's Crimson Wolf. Let's face it. But before we carry on, I see one of our panel members backstage. What are your besties? Oh, I'm not talking about Mel Walker. I'm talking about Punishment is in the building. What up, Big Pete? Thanks for joining us. I didn't know if you would be available tonight, but I appreciate you taking the time. I know it was a rough few days. We'll talk about all of that in a minute. I just need you two to coexist for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour so we can be professional and give the fans what they want. Agreed?
I'm always professional.
I came here to help, not hinder.
All right. Speaking of help, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, this is so big. It's so important that we couldn't just make it one part. It had to be two parts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first part of the contract signing.
And when I beat you, my legacy will be.
Oops.
Yeah.
PWR Welcome to the very special contract signing between your PWR World Heavyweight Champion, Hurt, and his #1 contender, PWR Hall of Famer, JTO. Gentlemen, tonight we are going to be very simple. There will be no shenanigans. This is strictly business. We're going to sign this contract to make this match official. Champ, you have the contract right there.
I keep all my contracts short and sweet. It's documented. Index card. I did the longest contract ever, shortest contract ever. Jay versus Hurt. No big ordeal. No drawing it out. But there's something I need you to know. I've been asked a lot of questions about why I hit you with the chair, even though I didn't need to hit you with the chair. It's very important. I take this very seriously. And if you want people to take it seriously, you have to show them how serious you take it. I see people come out here against people that they're friends with, and they take it easy on them. Very few people are friends like me and you. I want everybody who comes for this to know I treat everybody like an op.
You know what? I heard what you had to say. And you want me to tell you why I didn't hit you when I had the opportunity to hit you? It's because I want you at 100%. It has nothing to do with us being friends. Like, this is bigger than us being friends. Like, you have no idea how much this match means to me. You don't. It's deeper than anything that anyone could know. It's bigger than this title here. The title is just an extra bonus. This title is just an extra bonus for me to submit my legacy, but it's bigger than anything that anyone knows. I want you at 100%, so when I do beat you, and I will beat you, and I'll look you directly in the face and tell you that I did beat you fair and square, no bullshit. And when I beat you, my legacy will be cemented. That is what this is all about. I'm going to get out your shadow, because this is all about getting out of your shadow. And I need people to understand that I am not one of your family members. I'm not one of your children.
Woo! Part 2 coming later. Real quick, was that Leroy Jenkins and Joker Jada Carnal at the contract signing? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Look like.
I was there too. I was
look-alike?
just outside smoking weed.
You were there too.
I was a little bit
outside
jealous.
smoking weed.
I was a little bit
Wow.
jealous. I thought JTO had
Real
his own
quick,
beef.
we're going to get into it more later. Main event. I think I've asked you guys before. Any predictions, T-Money? You've seen the two doing the first part of the contract signing. We'll have the conclusion to that a little later. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, as far as like the match is concerned,
Yes.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to beat a motivated JTO. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of hard to beat a motivated JTO. And JTO sounds, from what we've seen in part 1, he sounds motivated. He sounds like he had fuel. He sounds like he has a reason. He sounds like he has every reason to go in and put forth his best effort. And it's hard to beat JTO at his best effort.
I agree. Punishment. My question to you is quite simple. JTO versus Big Hurt. Does it match the level of big that you need to have at an event like Rise to Power?
Yes, of course. JTO is a Hall of Famer, a 2-time world champion. And now he's here saying that he wants to get out of the shadow of the current champion, Big Hurt. And you know what? I feel for him. I want him to do that, to go out there and prove himself and get out of that shadow. The problem is, Big Hurt, even before he won the championship, and then after he won it, he casted a shadow that JTO just ain't going to be able to get out of. Sorry.
Damn.
Wow. All right. We'll talk more about the main event later, but hey, fans out there, JTO Hurt is the reason why I'm charging $79.99. Don't judge me. All right? Don't judge me. All right. Next matchup of the night that everybody's looking forward to hearing about is Shooter J versus Joker J, the battle of the Jaywalkers. Now, these two definitely were familiar with one another from their past as they were meeting for the third time in this one. Both needed and wanted a victory going into this battle and going into Rise to Power. Shooter J looked to be having a solid start in this one as he followed up a body slam with a leg drop and set up for a midnight run, his finisher on Joker J. But the veteran was able to roll to the outside and regroup before Shooter could connect on the nasty finisher. Joker laughed on the outside as cameras panned to the back, where we saw Chris Lassiter, the powerhouse champion, watching from his locker room closely. Joker then got his run going in this one as he nailed a bicycle kick to the face of Shooter and then nailed him once again, this time with the headbutt that cleaned his clock. The car now went up to the top turnbuckle and flew off, nailing a knee drop to Shooter's cheek. The impact sent a loud clap throughout the Barclays arena. He pinned Shooter for the 1, the 2, but he kicked out. Then, suddenly, we heard from the fans, boos overtook the ramp area, and it was, of course, the appearance of the Deadly Alliance. Don't confuse them with the Dangerous Alliance. The Deadly Alliance, as the massive frame of El Guapo and, of course, the Power Surge champion, the Narcissist, made their way to ringside. Shooter seemed confused as to why they were there, as Mike's close by the ring heard him say, "Oh, fuck, what do these guys want again?" He continued to drop elbows on Joker J at this point, who kicked out of another pin attempt shortly after. Shooter J then whipped Joker into the ropes, but missed a right hand, and Joker catapulted into him with a slingshot. The fans loved it as Joker J popped up and quickly bounced off the ropes, but was tripped up by Toa, the Narcissist. Then El Guapo got on the ring apron and started distracting the official. Joker charged towards Toa, but he was long gone by then, and when Joker turned around, he got nailed by the Midnight Run. Then the arena exploded as the powerhouse champion, Chris Lassiter, stormed down the ramp and dived right for Toa. But El Guapo was close behind, crushing him on the back as the two members of DA beat down Lassiter. Shooter J then pinned Joker J for the 1, the 2, the 3, the winner of the match, Shooter J. Shooter J saw the commotion on the outside as Toa and Guapo threw the powerhouse champion inside of the ring, looking to do more damage as El Guapo grabbed a microphone. And that's when El Guapo said, "Hey, fuck Brooklyn," as the fans booed El Guapo out of the building. That's when El Guapo said, "The way I see it, Shooter, you owe us, and all you have to do is shake my hand, shake Toa's hand, and this is a sealed deal." Shooter looked at the sold-out Barclays Arena as they started to chant "no" over and over. Some fans chanted "yes," but Toa and El Guapo now started kicking on both Joker J and Chris Lassiter, who were down and out in the middle of the ring. And that's when Toa grabbed the microphone from El Guapo. "Come on, mate. Are you deadly like us? No," said Toa. The fans booed Toa out of the building as Shooter shook his head no and left the ring as he began to walk down the ramp. Interesting. Meanwhile, they Deadly Alliance, I like to call them DA, not District Attorney, of course. They were both going to work on both the powerhouse champion and his challenger, beating them down in the ring, seeming to want to set an example here. But then Shooter J stopped as fans started cheering, and one fan close by yelled at Shooter, "Come on, Jay, get in there and stop this," said a fan. Shooter J pondered the thought and then jogged back in the ring as El Guapo and Toa backed off. But then, out of nowhere, Shooter picked up Joker J and nailed him with the midnight run. Then he nailed Lassiter with the same big time move as fans were stunned. Wapo and Toa lunged towards Shooter, laughing hysterically as Shooter, the scumbag, we can call him, embraced with the Deadly Alliance in front of the Brooklyn faithful as we went to commercial. T-Money, I'm going to start with you because I see it simmering. First of all, good victory here for Shooter J, but that's not the story. The story is we thought Shooter J had a spine, and at the end of the day, we're just going to call him Scumbag Shooter.
I mean, did they provide security for him when he left the building or something like that? Anybody? No security?
For who? El Wapo, who said fuck Brooklyn? He needed security.
He needed security. Like, all of them needed security that night.
Yeah. Deadly Alliance, a 3-piece mild sauce. Any thoughts, T? Punishment. We know that you want to, we see the ice, we see the injuries. We'll talk about it in a minute. I know you're a little bit rattled now. First of all, are doctors clearing you for Rise to Power?
They are, and even if they are, nothing's going to stop me from getting to Rise to Power.
So you will be there. I can put you down. There's a guarantee. Because fans are wondering after what we'll talk about it, but
I'll be there.
Speaking of being there, will the Deadly Alliance be there? This 3-headed monster now, so to speak. How deadly can this alliance become? And are there more, possibly?
There could be more. Toa is coming into his own as a leader. You guys are just catching up to Scumbag J. I've always known that about him. That's nothing new. And El Lizzo, Wapo, he's dangerous.
My God.
So, and hey, the power's in numbers. So now they're a 3-headed monster, and we'll see what happens.
Does this rise the stock, in your opinions, really quick? You first, T-Money. Does this rise the stock of Shooter J, possibly?
A little bit, not much. My whole thing is, I mean, you want to be a 3-headed monster? Venom's still around.
Punishment. The value and overall stock of Shooter J, does this give him any boost?
Gives him a little boost, but it gives Toa more of a boost because now he's the one that's gaining followers.
I agree. Surprisingly, I agree.
All right, let's agree to carry on with this next matchup. Featuring the one and only T.C. Adams, as he was set to clash against another hometown hero. Can you quiet with the ice here? Mel Walker. Now listen, keep the swelling down. I need you there. I lied. Keep the swelling down, okay? I need you in the ring. Tag Team Championship. It's a big one. This match was destined from the beginning to be something special, and it lived up to the fireworks that fans were looking forward to. Mel Walker's music hit, and the fans absolutely exploded with both cheers and boos. The hometown demon, I'm calling him. We put the stock on it, T. The hometown demon was locked and loaded for this big-time clash with T.C. Adams. His music hit, and a sudden comfort overtook the entire Barclays Center. One of the most revered superstars in PWR today was here in the building, and he could barely extend his injured hand, but it was T.C. Adams making his way to the ring, and the entrance, guys, was nothing short of spectacular. To see that many fans just gravitating towards this kid. The two went face-to-face in the ring as the bell rang, and Mel Walker mocked T.C. Adams early. "Redeem me, please. Redeem these nuts," said Mel Walker. Sounds like Mel a lot. The Brooklyn baby said, but he then cocked back a haymaker and crushed T.C. Adams right on the kisser. This gave Mel the early control of the match, and he used a DDT and a Brooklyn's finest super kick to disable the fan favorite early on. He went to pin Adams, who kept kicking out after 2 pin attempts, but it started to allow Mel's frustration to slowly creep into this one. It was a minor mistake shortly after that Mel took a bit too much time boasting to his friends and family in the front row, and TC Adams got it going. A thunk on Mel's back from a double axe handle smash quickly evened the score, and TC followed this up with a brutal knee to the midsection. Adams kept him going, nailing a neck breaker to Mel Walker shortly after. TC looked to have this one in his grasp, literally, when he said to the fans, "Say it with me, I believe." And the entire arena echoed the slogan back to TC. This brought joy to the expression of TC's face as he could see that his impact in PWR was real. He then held his injured hand towards Mel, seeming to attempt to redeem him, and started walking towards him. But without warning, ladies and gentlemen, he was tackled down to the mat by none other than the Reckless One as the referee quickly signaled for the bell. He jumped the barricade and was hiding amongst Mel Walker's friends and family close by the front the entire matchup. He was stomping away now at Adams as the bell rang repeatedly. Mel got to his feet and picked up Adams and dropped him with the MKO. Meanwhile, Reggie Walker went under the ring and came from underneath it with a steel pipe in hand. He slid back inside and showed the fans the pipe as fans started getting concerned as Mel Walker got down and grabbed the loose hand of TC Adams out as he said, "Break the motherfucker for real this time," said Walker. Mel Walker, that is. But then cameras panned in, showing the man they call the Sublime One, Dylan Mason, storming through Gorilla as he finally appeared, and the building was shaking at this point. The fans were losing it. Dylan Mason slid in the ring and dismantled Reggie with some vicious strikes, and then rushed over to the older brother, Mel Walker, and clotheslined him over the ring ropes. The fans were losing control and going crazy. And Mason said, "Come on, face to face, let's go." Woo! He then helped TC Adams up, who was a bit shaken up at this point, but was able to walk out on his own power. And yes, indeed, he has got the medical clearance to face Reggie Walker at Rise to Power 5. T-Money, I could see you thinking and thinking and thinking. My thoughts to you, my question to you, I should say, is going to this matchup, who do you think truly has the momentum? TC Adams or the Reckless One, Reggie Walker?
I can't call it. I can't call it. I mean, as much momentum as TC Adams has, I mean, Reggie keeps that stocked up too. So I really can't call it. Like, not trying to be PC, but I can't. With what TC is bringing to the table, he delivers a solid match. You know what to expect from him, and there could be his downfall, Reckless Reggie, who you don't know what to expect from, but they both deliver solid matches. I can't call
it. Punishment. My question to you is a couple questions. One, was it surprising that Dylan Mason came to the rescue of TC Adams when he could possibly have ended his career there, talking about the Walker brothers?
It was surprising to see Dylan Mason, but hey, I bet TC Adams is thanking whoever he believes in for Dylan Mason right now.
Uh-huh. I got one more for you. Punishment. Who do you like? Just give me a quick answer. Reckless or the Redeemer?
Normally I say the Redeemer, but I got to go with Reckless because the Redeemer's coming in with a fucked up hand. So you are going to have to go in.
I have to be compassionate to our handicap fans out there who support PWR. We have an alignment with the Special Olympics as well. So anything that Hector may have said to offend any of our paraplegic fans out there, I apologize.
It is a fucked up hand,
though. God, no, a solo fight here for Matt right now. We're going to let those two just breathe a little bit. You know, you wonder where I've been for so long. You know, this is what happens. We get copyright strikes. We get corporate breathing down my neck about what these morons say. All right, let's hope they cooled off here. All right, fellas, we're back. No more paraplegic stuff. No more hand stuff. You've been doing good so far, right?
I mean,
no problem.
Let's see.
I didn't see that. That was a flashback. He was throwing up the Venom sign. It looked like a Venom sign to me. What did you see, T?
Just go ahead and kick me off.
He worded me and I'll do it. All right.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. That's all I was talking about.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We're going to carry up the next matchup of the night. I'm going to come back to him after this match because clearly he's not playing nice right now. This next matchup featured two very prolific superstars of PWR in today's era. They've both really stamped their name recently in these past years or a couple years, I would say. And anytime these two face, it's a war. I'm talking about the villain from Venom, Nappy Boy, going one-on-one with the artist known as Motherfucker. Anytime these two face one-on-one, it always seems to get nasty. And on social media, it happened. It translates in the ring. When these two talk bad, it happens in the ring. Bad things happen. People get hurt. And these two wasted no time from the beginning of the match, letting loose on one another. Motherfucker was in his finesse mode mixed with power as he attacked Nappy Boy using his own style and finesse of moves. But Nappy came into this one with a more power slugger approach. So we're interested to see how it was going to play out. Motherfucker came out right away, crushing Nappy with a scissor kick, which led to a high-risk maneuver backflip, which landed perfectly executed on top of Nappy. A penitent followed, but the villain kicked out before two. Motherfucker used a headlock at this point to control Nappy and slow him down as long as he could. But it was the bulldozer mentality of Nappy Boy that came into play. And after a few European uppercuts, Nappy lifted up Motherfucker right into the natural nap and plastered him on the mat. The fans stood thinking it was over. However, Motherfucker threw himself rolling to the outside of the ring to recoup. A big time veteran move here, showing his ring prowess. Then, however, the natural followed Motherfucker to the outside and drilled him with a few chops. But let's face it, fans, you can never count Motherfucker out. That Motherfucker swung from out of nowhere with a kiss out of nowhere, his finisher, dropping Nappy Boy in his tracks. Motherfucker then threw Nappy towards the Japanese announce table as Mike Fucks You Wawa got excited, and Nappy fired a headbutt to slow down Motherfucker. What a brawl. Meanwhile, referee Mike Haggerty was counting and was all the way to 6 now as he allowed the fighters a chance to get back inside, but neither seemed interested as the two traded punches for punches back and forth until Fucker raked the eyes of Nappy. Fucker was trying to get Nap inside the ring, but Nappy hit a blow right to the throat of Motherfucker right as the referee was counting from 9 to 10 as the two kept fighting. Even though the bell rang for the double count out, the two just kept brawling even though they were panting, exhausted, and out of gas. Cameras in the back showed the Bronx Bomber watching on closely, warming up for his big match, as well as my panelist Punishment, who had his match coming up as well. Let's see if he's playing nice now. Postman, you were there with us through that whole matchup.
Yeah.
This is when I throw you a bounce pass and you slam dunk it. My question to you,
Yes, sir.
even though neither wrestler in this particular matchup got the victory, did you see what you needed to see to know that both of these guys are ready? More specifically, to know that Nappy is ready to go and locked in for this historic tag team matchup that you're actually a part of. It could be the biggest tag team matchup in recent memory.
Oh, hell yeah. They showed you they got that dog in them. Both of them. They did. I give Motherfucker his credit. Motherfucker showed you got that dog in them. And now, of course, you know I'm excited to see that dog come out. The way you ain't backing down from nothing. You ain't taking no shorts. You just going at it. I like that. I like it. I love to see it from my partner. I love it. So seeing two people like that go at it like that, hell yeah. If it wasn't my partner, just seeing that match would still make me happy. But you know, I'm on time. I'm on time.
Punishment. Even though T-Buddy was off the rails a little bit, because I know for a fact that motherfucker prefers the Pomeranian over a pit bull. My question to you is, we already know who you think's going to win the tag team matchup. The odds, however, have strongly swung to the Venom side because of the ice pack and the injury, the crook in the neck. My question to you is, motherfucker, as he embarks in his championship opportunity for the Apex Championship, which can change the landscape of everything, is he ready to go and locked it, in your opinion?
He's been ready and to go and locked in and to take this championship from Bronx Bomber since the last time that he was on this show. I saw it in his eyes through the sunglasses. He's been ready for a long time. So guess what? It's not that he's going to win the Apex Championship at Rise to Power. He's going to save the Apex Championship. Because to me, I just, and this is just me saying, you know, when you just look at one championship and one competitor and you say that he was destined to win that championship, that's just the way I feel about motherfucker with the Apex Championship, my opinion.
And that brings us to the name of the show. Your opinion doesn't matter. All right, let's carry on because with things that do matter, as we get the ice crunching in the background, this next matchup definitely got the fans going. I'm talking about a renewed rivalry of some sorts. Try saying that 3 times. A renewal of a rivalry. Yeah,
you knew how to say that fine before you went to prison.
He always does the prison thing. He knows always.
You ain't right, man. You ain't right.
Find that motherfucker. All right.
You're right.
All righty. Speaking of the next matchup, it features his tag team partner, Punishment and Pain. I can't get used to calling you Punishment. Can I just call you Hector from now on? It's much easier. I'm used to it. It's still your name. You're still a filthy Puerto Rican from New York City.
Yes, that's still the name that you write on the checks, so that's fine.
Okay. It's also your partner was, I'm sure you were watching this one closely, as he was slated to face the Power Surge champion in a non-title matchup. Of course, the narcissist I'm speaking on. The building was already buzzing at all the action that had already taken place tonight. And now we're about to get a big time brawl between two former comrades. The Power Surge champion made his way to the ring alone, holding his title up as the fans reigned in the booze. Interesting. No Shooter, no El Guapo. Next was the gritty sounds of the Pain and Punishment soundtrack. I love that song. As Joe Mega was ready to put the final nail in the coffin of his story with Toa. He sported his war mask, of course, and black and red attire, looking ready to punch the clock and go to work. The bell rang, and it was the physical kind of match that wrestlers from the 70s and 80s would adore. The brute force and punishment behind the fist of Joe Mega was certainly wearing down the Power Surge champion early on in this matchup, but we all have come to know Toa's fight will never stop. And after taking 5 or 6 power shots from Joe Mega to the body, Toa fired a brutal headbutt and then started choking Joe Mega with his hands. It was a brutal side of Toa we haven't seen. This nasty side, the fans were just getting used to with the narcissist. Toa then used his speed to get the advantage, leapfrogging Mega, and then beautifully placing a dropkick that staggered the big man. But Toa followed by ripping a clothesline, finally sending Joe Mega up and over to the outside, but he landed on his feet. Nimble for a big fella, ain't he? Toa followed, but this was a big mistake as Joe Mega used his massive hand to lift Toa up by the neck and drive him back first into the ring apron. Ouch, I need some ice for that. The impact was brutal, and Joe Mega tossed Toa back inside. He roared to the fans, and they roared back. But just at that very moment, ladies and gentlemen, we had visitors, and I don't mean UFOs or aliens. They were back. They were familiar visitors to the ring tonight as the Natural and Mel Walker came down to the ring to visit an old friend named Pain. Fans stood on their feet as Joe Mega tried to stay focused. A kick to the back of his head took him down as Toa signaled for the kill shot. Mel Walker at this point distracted the referee as cameras then showed Punishment leaving his locker room. But Venom, they were one step ahead tonight in Brooklyn all night, it seemed, as the postman T-Money waited in the hallway with the steel chair and drove it right in the midsection of Punishment as he was jogging, making his way to rescue his partner. Fans were booing and they couldn't believe it as Joe Mega, all the Powertron, was witnessing what was taking place backstage and what his partner was dealing with. Joe Mega pushed off a charging Toa and bounced off the ropes for a big boot, but he was tripped up by the villain from Venom. Then Toa quickly rolled up Joe Mega from behind while getting his feet up on the ropes for extra leverage. The 1, the 2, the 3, the winner of the match, Toa the Narcissist. Mel Walker and Nappy joined T-Money on the ramp to have a little celebration as they embraced with one another, and Joe Mega laid in the ring looking very, very discouraged and upset. But then suddenly Joe Mega gave us this sinister grin from ear to ear almost, but it was evil. And the last from the trio of Venom quickly changed to a more serious, focused look. I'll start with you, Punishment. What were you thinking when you left the locker room warming up for your own big time matchup with Aaron King, and you knew what you had to do? You knew you had to get out there, and out of nowhere, you take a shot, and to come to find out, it's the Postman. What are your thoughts?
Well, congratulations. You caught me slipping just for 1 second while I was trying to help my partner.
All right, short and sweet. Postman T-Money. When did this plan devise? Did you guys know with him being in the back to set the trap? Was something you guys talk about on the road? Is something that you guys just came up with? Do you guys do this stuff on the fly? People want to know.
First of all, I want to say that you don't know that was me at all. For all I know, that chair shot was digital. You don't know that was me.
We saw you. Everybody in the arena saw you on the Powertron. We
Everybody
saw
had-
Mel Walker and the villain out there for the match. You weren't there. And then a bald-headed black man with a lot of chest hair drove a steel chair shot into the ribs of, and you're saying it could have been anybody.
That could have been anybody, man. But at the same time,
That could have been hella and dead.
I mean, at the same time, when a plan comes together, are you sure there was even a plan at all? Things just work out. So maybe he pissed off another bald-headed black guy somewhere, and that's what happened. But do we plan stuff? No. Venom is for the children. No, we don't plan stuff like that. No, of course not. Venom is for the children. Throw your V's up.
I can't wait to see this next week. You two in the ring. All right. The next matchup actually does have you in the ring, Postman. It was a big one. I don't know what your mind was going through going into the ring with this one, but we'll shortly find out how this one played out as you were slated to go one-on-one with a rising superstar, one who got a huge win last week. I'm talking about the authentic one, August Stevens. Now, let's face it, not because of UT. No, I'll give you credit where credit's due. This had a pay-per-view feel. This match just had some type of buzz around it, especially with the Hall of Famer like the Postman going against the guy who actually pinned the PWR World Heavyweight Champion. big buzz going into this one, and it was a crazy go-home show. It fit the mood. T-Money was already close by, of course, due to his antics. After the commercial, he waited in the ring, and both Nappy and Mel Walker were standing by his side at ringside as he got ready. And by the looks of things, early, it could definitely be a numbers game in this one. Since the medical leave of Bobby G, the Authentic One was all alone, and he would come to the ring by himself, but focused and locked in on getting another big-time victory here as he approaches his first ever rise to power. And I'll take this moment now to make a huge announcement that the contract is final, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. August Stevens will get his crack at the Power Surge champion, the Narcissist, at Rise to Power as this thing just gets bigger and bigger. But carrying on, the bell rang for this one, and both were trash talking face to face until August Stevens slapped T-Money right in his brow. This sent the Postman on a delivery explosion as he landed hooks, jabs, right crosses, body shots, uppercuts, Euro uppercuts. But at this very moment, the Authentic One was trying to block the shots, but he can only block so many, and he was rattled by the onslaught. T then scooped up Stevens for a body slam, and then, like a cat, got up to the top turnbuckle and skied off for a 5-star splash. He says he doesn't have it like he used to, but he sure looked good out there. He pinned August, but only got 2 as T kind of looked confused at the referee begging him to do his job better. The Postman was bickering with the official a little bit more than usual when Stevens stopped T's foot and then lifted him up for a quick suplex. August Stevens had the audacity and the skill to hold on and nail another suplex on T when the other members of Venom started to get a little antsy on the outside, banging their hands on the ring apron to get Money's attention. Stevens was locked in at this point as he whipped T into the ropes and popped him with an elbow as he waved at Nappy Boy. Now, this was awkward. "You like that, Nap?" said the Authentic One. But Nappy Boy didn't react. Mel looked at Nappy kind of strange at this point. August Stevens then drew out a 2 and a 7 for the fans as he notified what he was thinking of his finisher, the 27th day. Fans stood on their feet, sensing yet another upset as Stevens crouched down and waited, but he took his eyes off Mel Walker, who came right in the ring and threw the referee out. He nailed August Stevens with a spinning heel kick and then stormed into Stevens with a bra kick from the Postman. Fans booed the actions of the trio as Nappy, however, looked a little bit confused. "Hey, yo, it's done. Let's roll," said Nappy. "Wait, what?" said Mel. The fans were looking closely now. Now, I'm not going to say the word because I can't say this word on TV, but pick the expletive up. T did so as Mel Walker ordered this confusion and held Stevens by his arms, but Nappy didn't seem interested at all in attacking August Stevens. The fans were just as shocked as I was as Walker pushed Nappy a bit. "Hey, you good? This is what we do," said Walker. "He's done. I don't see the point," said Nappy. "The point is take his ass out," said the Postman. The hesitation of Nappy allowed Stevens to wiggle himself free and dive out of the ring head first, getting away. This was an awkward moment shared inside the ring as the facial expression of Mel Walker told a very interesting story as we went to commercial break. But I want to hear first from Punishment. To me, now I'm not a scientist or a chemist, but looking at what I saw, Punishment, it looks like there's a little bit of something. I don't want to call it trouble. I don't want to call it an issue, but they had a clear opportunity where Nappy didn't seem to want to execute the moves of Venom. What are your thoughts on this? Does this entice you going into your matchup with the Postman that possibly there's some a ripple in the water?
Is that Ethan water? Anyway,
No. Very cheap.
So, well, hey, if Nappy Boy is distracted by something or isn't quite focused going into this match, it only benefits us. So continue on your road, my son, because it's leading to your failure and my rise to power.
Punishment, really quick question before we pass the microphone to the postman. Do you think there's any reasoning that T-Money's not showing the PWR Tag Team Championship today? Do you think he's possibly worried? Do you think he's possibly worried about showing it to you, losing it, all of the above?
Well, you know what? Possibly he is, but I guess you're gonna have to ask him because look, he's ready to talk about it now that you said it. So, but thank you for ahead of time getting it ready to send it over.
Postman, I know you have a lot to say. I'm not even gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna give you the floor because you're a poet. So sometimes when you give a poet the mic, he just takes it from there.
First of all, you got to understand that the arm of justice is long and it bends towards smacking the fuck out of somebody who said some stupid shit like Punishment just said. I know. I said I was going to be all good. We're going to be all gravy, right? My bad. Nah, you worry about ripples in the water. No, ripples turn into waves. Don't worry about the ripple in the water. Ripples turn to waves. And the wave that we go keep on riding, the wave that we go keep on giving you a tsunami with as Venom is still the same as we've been doing. So all y'all pray on our downfall. But every time we bounce up,
I don't like to trust my sources, but my sources here have informed me that although you guys left the arena together, you and Mel Walker had dinner together, and for whatever reason, the villain from Venom wasn't there. Is that true?
You act like there's something different. You act like there's something new.
So it's true.
I mean, he likes what he likes. We like what we like. I mean, whatever. You ain't gotta necessarily break bread to break bread, if you know what I mean.
Okay. All right. So you say I trust it's coming from the source.
It's
nonetheless,
you can take that to the bank. It's gospel. I'm T-Money. Take it to the bank. It's gospel. You got nothing to worry about.
All right. It seems very flustered. All right. Next match, ladies and gentlemen, features my panel member, of course, Punishment, as he was set to go one-on-one for the first time ever. How did that happen? I mean, who books this? Against Aaron King, the only beast that matters. This is another big pay-per-view type of field matchup. We talked about it all night. This is the greatest go-home show ever, probably. A first-time ever match was next, and it had momentum riding on it. As again, both of these superstars needed, not wanted, to find some momentum before entering the biggest pay-per-view of the entire year. You could feel it in the air as Punishment and King both warmed up, and we finally heard the bell and we were off. Punishment was pretty banged up from the earlier attack from Venom, and although he was advised to sit this one out by his tag team partner specifically, he wanted to go out there and give the fans what they wanted to see, was a first-time ever matchup between himself and Aaron King. And say what you want about Punishment, but he loves giving the fans what they want. Punishment started off with a flurry of strikes that seemed to daze Beast, but either they didn't hurt him or he didn't have enough on him or whatever it was, but Beast wasn't fazed by the early attack as he countered with the roaring elbow that nearly removed Punishment's head from his shoulders, hence the ice pack, of course. Beast roared as he lifted Punishment and dropped him with a power bomb. He quickly pinned him for the 1, the 2, but Punishment is a fighter. We all know that. He's gutsy. He's not going to quit, and you got to do severe damage to make the guy take the 3 count. And Beast knew he needed more damage. He went to grab Punishment when he was met with a solid right in his eye, and it seemed to pop Beast's eyelid open or something, because the shot clearly affected the vision of King. He kept checking his eye over and over and trying to fix the sight, and the referee was trying to assist him, but Punishment lifted King for a Boricua bomb and pinned him quickly for the 1, the 2. But Aaron King kicked out in time as fans got more and more invested in this big-time matchup. Punishment dropped a right hand on the temple of King, and he was shaken up when he signaled now for the Pendejo Plex. I know T-Money was watching closely on as this one went down, but a roar from Beast and a spear took him and his opponent both outside of the ring, and fans started chanting, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" The two began trading blows back and forth on the ramp area as Beast took Punishment down with the big boot to the face as Beast leaned over to catch his breath for a moment when a huge figure appeared coming from Gorilla. We couldn't quite see who it was. He had a hoodie on and his head was down. Beast could just feel someone was behind him, and he turned around and the man held his head up and removed his hoodie, and the entire arena exploded, ladies and gentlemen, as it was the exciting return of none other than BBG. Bobby G. Galileo was back in the building, and fans absolutely lost it. The two started trading haymakers with one another before half of the PWR roster came out to separate the two. It goes without saying, ladies and gentlemen, the match is happening. Finally, the only beast that matters, Aaron King, one-on-one, Bobby G. Before we get to the matchup with you, Punishment, T-Money, what happened at the end of this matchup? Bobby G making his return and going in a straight line towards Aaron King. What are your thoughts on this one?
Say what you want about the history between me and Venom and Aaron King. That match I want to watch. I want to see B and B. Okay, never mind. I want to see those two clash. Go at it. As Big E put it one time, big, strong men slapping meat. Go at it. I want to see that.
Who you got?
I mean, hell, I don't give a fuck. I mean, hell, if both of them walk out crippled, I don't give a fuck.
God damn. Was that another cripple joke? Did he slide it there? He slided this kind of slick, didn't he? For the last time, we're sponsored by the Special Olympics, and a lot of our fans in wrestling, have autism and other, issues that we deal with.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, but I saw that you got excited when he said about slapping me. I'm just saying.
Put that goddamn ice pack on the top of your head now. And answer this one question. Aaron King, over 300 pounds. BBG, over 300 pounds. Can the Rise to Power ring hold these two, or should this be the second to last match? What can we do here to prevent a possible ring collapse? I mean, these are two huge men that hate one another.
Run. Neither man run at each other, because one of you is going to leave a leg in the corner.
Neither man run at each other because you're going to be too damn tired.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk and start slapping.
Yep. And wow.
When you add a match like this to the other matches that we've added, you got Stevens and the Narcissist, you got Bobby Galileo versus Aaron King, along with the list of championship matches. I don't know, guys. We could be outdoing ourselves here.
Could be.
But I won't let that be the case, because here we go.
And when I beat you, my legacy will be cemented. That is what this is all about. I'm going to get out your shadow, because this is all about getting out of your shadow. And I need people to understand that I am not one of your family members. I'm not one of your children. Why does everyone want to make a legacy off of me? Why you was the world champion. You're the only 2-time ever PWR champion. Can I steal one of your lines? Let me ask you a question. What is it about my
Or what is it about me that people want to build a legacy off of me?
See, it's not about building a legacy. See, that's where you get it misconstrued. It's about overshadowing your legacy. That's what it's about. Because everywhere I have been, and you came along, you are a natural. I'll give you that. You came to this game as being a natural. It was like a fish to water. Me, I had to work hard to get to where I am. I'm not saying you didn't, but your charisma was automatically there. I had to work on all of that. And even with me working on all of that, because you and I are friends, and you and I have a relationship, you and I have respect for one another, I am always tied to you when I'm not tied to you. So I need to break all of this shit. That's what this is about.
You had a better chance building a career or building a legacy or de-cementing yourself from Mega. Because for me, you're not going to de-cement yourself. You're going to get cemented. Period.
And I expect that from you. I expect the confidence from you. See, one thing about you, Hurt, you always had an ego. Always. One thing about me, I'm always humble. Always humble. I know how good I am, but I will never talk about it. So now, you're going to feel what I always feel. You're going to have to be humble, and I am the person to do it.
Not talking about it is part of your problem, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we will.
Good luck.
And good luck to you too, man. Yeah, good luck.
And there you have it, PWR. The contract is official. Both men have signed. Good night.
Wow.
Damn.
That has to be up there with the greatest contract signings we've ever seen here at PWR. Because number one, it had Leroy Jenkins just sitting there. The Cardinal was laughing, the Joker as usual. But here's what I take from this. What I take from this as a fan is that this match is going to be so psychological. It's going to be so deep. And I'm going to say it now. This is going to be arguably Big Hurt's biggest test of his career because, like we've all agreed to, when the equalizer has his mind focused on a goal, it's hard to stop him. This is going to be a classic World Heavyweight Championship here in PWR. Postman, anything you want to take now that you've seen the whole contract signing? Oh, I do have an announcement. I did skip something. You saw Pat Legend there mediating. He's a future Hall of Famer himself here in PWR. I appreciate you, Pat. I thank you for volunteering to be the guy to make sure that this didn't get out of hand. I also thank Leroy Jenkins. I also thank the Cardinal, of course. But a huge announcement here live on PWR, here on Your Opinion Doesn't Matter. It's just been delivered to my doorstep. It's official. Pat Legend is the special guest referee for the main event of Rise to Power, a man that will gain control over both of them because I'm going to tell you one thing. One thing about Pat is he will not be pushed around by Hurt or the Equalizer. We all could agree on that. And so this thing is going to be straight down the middle, no shenanigans. Pat Legend, special guest referee, Rise to Power, main event. Wow, T-Money. Now that you know all of the facts surrounding this big-time matchup, now that you're not gangbanging and throwing the sign down from your set in Dalton, please share with me your thoughts on the contract signing.
I'm just looking at whoever had the margarita and didn't drink it versus the person that had the Cosmopolitan, or was it a Manhattan, or was it an old fashioned? Either way, whatever. They down.
You were looking at the drink, of course.
I mean, I know what two grown men do when they got if they handle. I ain't got to look at all that shit. I ain't got to read out. I ain't got to listen. I heard it. I get it. But I ain't got to pay that close attention. All right, pretty much. Old buddy over here says that I'm gonna step out of your shadow. Blah 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 blah. Old buddy over here says that you will never get out of this shadow. Blah 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 blah. I don't like you, but I like you. You my friend, but we ain't friends. Clash, clash, clash. Let's get it over with. Let's fight, son. Let's go.
All right, I'm hyped too. Punishment. Before we get to the main event of the night, what did you take from the contract signing? Do you change your perception at all? Do you still think Hurt leaves Rise to Power 5 still champion?
Hurt's going to get tested real good and hard in this match by JTO.
Pause.
Good and hard.
Double pause.
Brings back memories, doesn't it, Scotty? Anyway, so regardless, this match will be legendary. This match will be a match that will be shown to many prospects in our great sport that want to come up. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make me change my vote. I'm still going with the champ.
Speaking of voting, I do see the pup behind you. I'm sure Shooter J is watching closely about the pets in whatever suburb you're living in.
Yeah, man, be careful. They breaking in. They eating the pits.
The main event of the night, ladies and gentlemen, is here. It's a special feature dual champion matchup that sold out Barclays Arena as soon as it was announced to PWR fans. I'm talking about the Apex champion, the Bronx Bomber, going one-on-one with the Empower champion, the Body Snatcher, Dylan Mason. Listen, this is what I want. This is what the fans want. As we knock on the door of Rise to Power, so many possibilities in this one, including a new Empower champion possibly leaving the Barclays Arena, as Mason not even defending the Empower championship in this one, but facing the Apex champion. Just never know when he or she could cash in. In this case, the Bronx Bomber. The booze only meant one thing and one thing only. The power couple of PWR was in the building, and the Bronx native was loving all the hate from Brooklyn as he said, "I hate you too, BK," said Bomber as he hugged his fiance tight, kissed her on the cheek, and made his way to the ring. Bomber looked confident, cocky, and ready to go. Then the lights went out, and the only spotlight was on the Empower champion, the Body Snatcher himself, Dylan Mason, who's been so impressive here in the past few months. The fans absolutely lost it at the sight of the Sublime One, as he calls himself the one of one, making his way down to an enormous eruption from the Brooklyn faithful. You know, those Brooklyn fans are unlike any other. The referee reminded both superstars that it was a non-title matchup, and to keep it clean and respectful, the bell rang, and early on, the Bronx Bomber proved to the fans and to himself he belonged in the spotlight in this big-time matchup with a guy like Dylan Mason. His speed and agility took immediate control early, and highlighted by a drop kick from the top turnbuckle, landed perfectly, followed by a backflip splash as he looked in the camera, mocking motherfucker and saying, "That's my move you took." "Yeah," said Bomber. It didn't take long for Mason to get his engine warm in this one, as he got it going with his trademark Dutch strikes, as he just laid them in tight and heavy on Bronx, lacing the face, body, legs, toes, elbows, and every other body part Bomber had exposed, as he couldn't block the rapid fire attack from the Body Snatcher. He then gave the fans exactly what they wanted as he leaped in the air for the trademark Pele kick, and they loved each and every bit of it. Mason quickly pinned Bomber for the one, the two, but he kicked out as Bomber kept the action going. This was an intense matchup from beginning to end. Mason then leaped on the ropes, almost trying to balance himself like the Undertaker for a big move, when, of course, the fiance of Bomber, Candace, pushed him down causing his leg to
I
get
know.
caught up in the ropes awkwardly. Bronx Bomber went right after him with the baseball slide kick as Mason went to the outside. And of course, we know what happened then as Candace dug her thumbs into the face of Mason and then held her hands up when the referee came close by, warning her. Bronx Bomber got him back in the ring and lifted him in an inverted DDT, crushing Mason as he pinned him for the 1, the 2. But Dylan Mason kicked out as fans started clapping and stomping, chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome."
No,
Bronx
forget it.
Bomber then signaled for the D-bomb post, man. He picked up Mason, and we thought it was going to be over, but Mason blocked the move twice before executing a back body drop, bringing the sold-out arena to their feet. Mason then signaled for the Blood Eagle. He rocked a forearm shot to the face of Bomber as he looked at Candace and then decided to dive to the outside, taking her out, getting rid of her. He then got back inside of the ring and locked in the Blood Eagle. Boom! Pinning Bomber for the 1, the 2, the 3. The winner of the match, Dylan Mason.
I ain't mad at the technique. Don't sweat the technique, they say. I ain't mad at it.
Mason held up the Empower Championship high as the fans exploded, but the music of Venom hit on the sound system, and Mel Walker came storming down the ramp when T-Money, the postman, and of course the villain from Venom came from different sides of the ring as 3 of the baddest superstars in PWR history went on another attack, better yet, an assault on Dylan Mason, the body snatcher, who was looking like he was going to get his body snatched up. Stomps, kicks, until the lights went out in the arena, gasped, not knowing what happened. But when they came back on, it was the Korean Kaiju Kwon Soo, who immediately caused the backpedal from all 3 members of Venom, who decided wasn't a good idea to interact right now. I know, Hector, just breathe. With Kwon Soo, Mason was just looking up, trying to figure out what was going on. The fans just looked, and there was a brief moment of hesitation. But then Kwon Soo put the huge, massive hand out and held it out as Dylan Mason grabbed it. He picked him up, and the arena exploded as we went off of the air, ladies and gentlemen. Rise to power. Not 1, not 2, not 3 or 4. Number 5, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an extravaganza. I want to get some quick thoughts here from the postman, the Kaiju, the body snatcher, Venom.
I mean, not to sound like a punk or nothing like that, but what the hell are you doing here, Kwanzaa? Don't you got your own business to attend to, Quan? Don't you got your own stuff to deal with, Quan? Don't you have your own stuff to deal with, Quan? What you doing here, Quan? Now, Dylan, again, formidable opponent, one who I don't have a great win-loss record against. I'm sorry, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Quan, what are you doing?
Real quick before I end your day, T, and let you go. What is y'all purpose? Why do you have to interject yourselves in each and every little thing that may not even concern you? Sometimes it concerns you, but you.
I mean, if it wasn't them, it'll just be somebody else.
Any last words for your opponent?
Oh yeah.
Punishment. We'll go to you on this one. This formed weaponry, whatever we want to call it, the mortuary, whatever it's going to be called. You got the Korean Kaiju. Mason, we know your history. We know how you feel, but separate all that. What could this mean for PWR?
Hey, you got two life-changing guys in terms of their talent. I got to tell the truth. And they're coming together. So the rest of us, we better be ready and strapped in.
Speaking of coming together, you will be coming together in just a matter of a few days, Hector, with Joe Mega, as you guys try to defeat the World Tag Team Champions. Any last words for your opponent?
Oh, yeah. Laugh it all up right now, Postman. Because you know what? Now, after the pay-per-view, after Rise to Power, you have no fucking excuses. We don't have the experience of tag teaming together like you and Nappy. I'm not 100%. So you got no motherfucking excuses when we go in there and dish out pain and punishment to you two bitches and take your fucking championship. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Scott Mack. He's Punishment, and he's the Postman. And we always deliver. Whew.